There's a mystery unfolding in Solano County. Over the last 5 years, the group Flannery Associates has discreetly bought up 60,000 acres of land surrounding Travis Air Force Base. Finally forced out of the shadows, a collection of Silicon Valley billionaires reveal they're trying to build a utopia on the rolling hills sitting in between the Bay Area and Sacramento. They call the project California Forever. It's met with strong and vocal opposition from longtime residents, elected officials, and other community leaders. CEO Jan Schromek wants to set the record straight on his visionary startup city. Jan Schromek is betting on California, not only for his future, but others.
I know we've doubled down on California at a time when a lot of other people have given up on the state.
He and a group of billionaire investors want to create a new city in Solano County from the ground up. They call the project California Forever. The renderings of the proposed city look like something out of a fictional book. Streets without cars, children on bikes, people on kayaks, neighbors gathered at their local coffee shop. It would be a solar-powered community.
Where your kids can walk to school and you can walk to a grocery store or to a restaurant, ideally to your work as well. And it is built in a much more environmentally friendly and sustainable way where it relies more on transit and less on cars, and it has a much smaller environmental footprint.
Schromek is a former Goldman Sachs trader who lived many years in Europe and has long had a fascination with walkable cities. He and his family actually moved to Fairfield in September, his value of work-life balance now spilling over into his proposal.
My wife and I are young parents, and if we had to commute an hour and a half every day, we would never see our kids for breakfast or for dinner. You only get to tell your 2-year-old a bedtime story 365 days in your life, and then it's gone.
He sat down with ABC 10 for one of the rare television interviews he's granted in 7 years on the project.
About 6-7 years ago, I discovered this site and got to know Solano County, and eventually had the idea that you could build one of them here in a way that would really bring up the whole community and be a real asset to Solano County.
The name of the company the investors formed is Flannery Associates. Now, Schromek wants to set the record straight about his intentions, which have been called into question by many.
We never had the intention of building a city next to Travis Air Force Base. We started buying property far away from the base. Eventually we acquired property close to the base because we wanted to be able to work with the base to protect it and to strengthen it. And we felt that if we were doing a large project in the 5 or 10 miles away from the base, then we would want to control the property next to the base as well.
You've been buying land for over 5 years. Why the initial secrecy?
We wanted to prevent the situation where if we announced the plans prematurely, there would be this reckless speculation rush, and then the county would be dealing with lots of different people proposing lots of different projects, and it would result in disorderly growth and sprawl.
Do you regret the way that you went about it?
No, we've been very methodical about it from the beginning, and we've been very responsive to government agencies when they've come in and they ask us to confirm that there was no Chinese involvement.
Schromek says the company revealed their investors a year ago when the government asked, made up of LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman, American entrepreneur Mark Anderson, and Laurene Powell Jobs, Apple co-founder Steve Jobs' widow. But multiple lawmakers, including Congressman John Garamendi, Congressman Mike Thompson, and Senator Bill Dodd, all told ABC 10 in August they were unclear on the project and they didn't meet Jan Schromek until later that month.
Were there lies? Was there misinformation? Did the plan change over time?
Absolutely not.
To give you an idea of the scope of this project, 52,000 acres is twice the size of the city of Elk Grove and larger than the city of Stockton. Schromek says they're done purchasing land and are on to the next step, a listening tour in surrounding cities.
I think that the biggest misconception that's out there right now is that there's community opposition to the project.
But there are doubts.
I can't overstate just how widespread this impulse is amongst tech leaders to build new cities from scratch. Some of the founders of the most prominent tech companies have proposed building new cities from scratch in recent years. Google's Larry Page, Tesla's Elon Musk.
Molly Turner teaches at UC Berkeley School of Business. She says tech investors prefer to start from scratch, but struggle with making the idea a reality. Schromek says California Forever is not like prior tech utopian ideas looking to stand alone.
We think the government in Solano County is very well run, the county is very well run. We have no plans to build any kind of utopia or any kind of city with different governance. We would love to build a great community that is in unincorporated Solano County for a long time, run by the county. It pays taxes to the county.
And with California Forever set to be a commuter's refuge, attracting people from the Bay Area and Valley regions, traffic and carbon footprint are a top concern. Zachary Lamb also teaches at UC Berkeley. His expertise is city planning and urban design with climate change.
Do you have a good, clean, reliable water supply? Do you have a good power supply? Do you have good transit access? And as far as I understand, none of that is there in this corner of Solano County.
Commuting out is part of the footprint. Another part of the footprint is how do people move around inside the city. And in many of the cities in California, a substantial part of the emissions is how people move inside the city. And if we build a city where people largely walk or bike or use public transit inside the city, that compensates for a lot of commuting.
For traffic, Schromick says they want to use Highway 12 and 113 out of Dixon and Rio Vista to get to California Forever. Lamb says while the project is fascinating, he wishes the resources and creativity were put towards existing cities.
The feasibility of realizing a vision like what we've seen in those renderings, to me, strikes me as quite low.
Flannery Associates says they want to start from scratch for multiple reasons, including housing for a real estate market that has a short supply.
There's a lot of California families that are asking whether they're going to have a future in the state or whether they should leave. There's a lot of California companies that are reevaluating their footprint after COVID and thinking about are they going to stay. If California is going to build a big project that really makes a dent in many of these issues, now is the time to do it.
Flannery Associates seems like Walt Disney, and California Forever is your Tomorrowland.
I don't think that that's what we are looking to do. I mean, there's people who've kind of promised to reinvent urban living and they've promised to invent the cities of tomorrow. We would like to build a city of yesterday, if anything.
Opponents, they're calling it a land grab, a power play. California Forever says it won't be walking away. We talked to the biggest holdouts in Rio Vista. McCormick Sheep and Grain says they can't be bought.
McCormick Sheep and Grain is 3,700 acres near Rio Vista. They farmed the land since the 1880s. Albert Medveds and his wife, Jeannie McCormick, left their lives on the East Coast to continue the family legacy.
The kind of crops that when the Ukrainian war broke out, people were concerned about that because the wheat and barley, these are fundamental crops around the world. And in fact, what we grow goes into the world food system.
They turn over 1,500 tons of wheat or barley a year. 4,000 sheep live on the property during peak lambing season, and they're a main meat supplier for Neiman Ranch.
3 of those ranches are under suit.
Medved says his neighbors are being sued for their land by Flannery Associates, the parent company of proposed new city, California Forever. Their ranch is less than 5 miles from the Flannery Road, where Flannery Associates made its first purchase. If you look at this map, they're the massive circle in the middle of the proposed city, with access to the Sacramento River as a water source.
After seeing 3 of your neighbors be sued, are you concerned?
Oh, sure. In one of the lawsuits, we are described as having relations with those who were being sued.
They were first approached in 2021 with a $20 million offer. Medved says it was cordial. They had a nice lunch with the real estate agent, saying they wouldn't sell.
It has a deep heritage, especially for my wife, Jeannie.
2 months later, Flannery increased the offer 50% to $30 million.
Well, some people benefited. I mean, they were ready to sell.
Is there any amount of money that would make you want to sell?
Sort of like asking the Pope, would he give up being a priest for, $2 billion or whatever?
When ABC 10 spoke to CEO Jan Schromick, he told us they were done buying farmland, but many deals had not yet closed. As far as the lawsuits,
I really can't comment on litigation.
This is the least of California Forever's problems. 2 different agencies in these public meetings have turned their back on them. Solano County Water Agency turned down their millions and any possible partnership. The city of Rio Vista refused to even continue a conversation. It's all coming to a head. In a few weeks, California Forever will reveal their plans for the city, starting their campaign for the November 2024 ballot box to convince residents to turn centuries of farmland into this city. Well, before we go, you can scan this QR code for more information on the California Forever project to go in depth. I just want to say thank you for watching this report and the California Forever project. To keep up to date on the project, keep watching ABC 10 online and at abc10.com.